hit record. But thank you all for getting on this call today. I know we have a lot more who listen in through the recording, but I honor each one of you guys getting on live because I think that you get that extra little boost of energy and community as you are seeing everyone else on and knowing that you're not alone in this journey. You're not, out on an island building this business. And it's just kind of a cool thing that we have so many coaches willing to share ideas and work together, not just on our small team here, but also in the network. And so I built up my courage to reach out to one of the coaches that I have looked up to in this network. And I don't know if Rochelle knows this, but when I was getting started and wanting to build a like page myself, I reached out to my upline. I reached out to some other coaches in the extended team that we all are on. And it didn't seem that there were a lot of people building like pages. And I was even, in an indirect way advised not to. But I knew that I didn't know a lot of people. I knew that one of the key elements of success in this business is to consistently expand your network and focus on meeting new people. So I wasn't just recycling the same handful of invites to, the same deck of cards over and over again. And so I looked to see who was having success with their like page. And one of the coaches that stood out to me was Rochelle Griffin. And I can't even remember, I think I just saw a post from her in a Beachbody Champion page or some big network page where I saw her share some of the success that she was having with her like page. I went over, started following her. And that's even where I got the idea to do a challenge group workbook. So you guys see the workbook that I've kind of put together for our team. And I got that idea from Rochelle. And so I signed up to get her workbook and looked at it. I'm like, this is such a great idea. Kind of formulated my own for our team. And so she has been a silent mentor for me. Probably doesn't even know that I've been watching her and learning from her for the last few years here. And so I'm honored that she would get on and share with everybody what she is doing to build her like page. Couple stats for you guys. Rochelle is a 8-star diamond coach. She is in the Million Club. So we previously were calling that the Millionaire Club, but Jeff Hill and Beachbody Corporate has recently changed that name. So you'll start noticing it more as referred to the Million Club. So she's a member of the Million Club, which by itself, I feel is such a remarkable achievement. There's only, between 60 to 70, I believe, coaches in the entire network. How many coaches have there been? Close to, 100, a million coaches that have ever signed up in the network. And you've got 60, 70 that have hit that achievement. So, we are so honored to have her get on. She is a Success Club 10 All-Star. She has earned the Financial Freedom Award. And just this last year, she was a premier coach. And so I am just honored that she would get on and share with you guys. So make sure you put your electronics away, pull out your pen and paper, and take notes, because I know that it's going to be those small little tips that you pull from what she says that are going to have that big change in your business and the results that you are getting. So, Rochelle, I'll go ahead and turn the time over to you, and I'm unmuting you, and it's all yours.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you good.
You have the surfboard. Mine's in my other room. Not that I've ever used it. I don't know how to surf, but I have it, which is really, really cool. I want to say thank you so much for having me on today. I'm so excited because this is, honest to goodness, like my favorite topic ever to talk about. And so, just to give you guys a little bit of background, I've been an RN for over 20 years now, and I never actually intended to do Beachbody full time. But over the course of the years, when my Beachbody paychecks started to become more than my nursing paychecks, it just made financial sense for me to retire. And so 3 years into coaching, I went ahead and retired because, hello, I was, gone from my house 50 plus hours a week. And now I was able to stay home and make even more money. But the thing is I live just outside of Gainesville, Florida. So I'm in a very tiny one stoplight town. And when I first became a coach, Facebook was around, but no one was really using it that much. And I knew that I had to do something to be able to start to grow my business. So I started to kind of like figure out Facebook. And I felt a lot like probably a lot of people still do today. I went ahead and I heard that you were supposed to do a like page. I didn't know really what that meant, but I went ahead and started a like page. And I'm going to be like really honest with you. I thought it was the dumbest thing ever. I didn't see the point in it. I was getting absolutely nothing from it. I played with Facebook ads. And again, so I paid money and I didn't know what I was doing. So there should be like no surprise whatsoever that nothing came about from it. So I was just frustrated and I thought, this is just dumb and stupid and there is no point. And I don't care what anyone says, I'm doing my profile there. That's it. And so that, like, I was like really, really stubborn about it. And I learned over time, I want to say it's probably been, and I have 2 monitors just so you guys know, if you see me looking back and forth, that's why. I decided probably about 3.5 years ago that something had to change because I was running out of the warm, hot market and I needed to grow my business way faster than I was at that time. So I had to figure out a new way to do things. And so my hope today, honestly, is that you're going to be able to take something. You don't have to take everything that I say, but if you can even just take bits and pieces of it and start to like plug it into what you're doing, I think ultimately the big key is that no matter what it is that you choose to do, is that you're consistent. That's probably one of the biggest mistakes that I see coaches make, is that they're just not consistent and they don't look at what like the big picture is. And so you have to look at the big picture and you have to really be thinking long term. Now, and I'm sure I'm in a lot of different like coach groups, and I'm sure you guys are as well. And, I will see from time to time debate and chatter, like when Facebook changes their algorithms, everybody's up in arms and is out about it. And I'm one of those people that I very rarely get involved in those conversations because I just know I need to keep my head down, blinders on, and I need to do the work. And that's a bunch of wasted energy getting involved in all of those debates. So again, my hope is that you're going to be able to put blinders on, head down, and do the work. So I'm going to go over 3 big reasons why you should have a page to begin with. Because if you were like I was and you totally didn't believe in it, I'm hoping you're going to walk away from today believing in it. And then I'm going to give you guys a couple of tips that you can do that you can probably implement today and go ahead and start putting value into your page. So the very first reason why you should have a Facebook page, and some of you aren't going to like this because like the rebels, and this was me, it's policy and procedure. It's the rules. Whether you like it or not, it is the rules. Beachbody has compliance and policy and procedures that we have to follow to run our business. Facebook does too. No one should be shocked by that whatsoever. And Facebook flat out says that we have to do our business on our Facebook page. Now, I can tell you, because I have done my business solely on my Facebook page for the past 3.5 years, never once have I been put in Facebook jail. And I'm sure like everybody knows that term. I've even heard recently that there's people who are not just being put in Facebook jail, but there's people who've actually lost their whole Facebook profile, like everything, poof, gone. Can you imagine that? I don't know about you guys. I literally run my business like 98% from Facebook. And if my Facebook suddenly went away, I would totally freak out. So that is what's happening to people, as I'm hearing that Facebook is cracking down more and more on it. But if you do what you're supposed to do on your page, you're in the clear. I have never once been dinged for anything. And Facebook is making the Facebook page more and more user-friendly to business owners. So I'm loving it more and more all the time. So that's number one. Number two is Google. So Google is the biggest search engine in the world. The last time that I looked, there's like 3.5 billion searches every single day. That's a lot of searches. Well, you may not realize this, but every time you post on your Facebook page, your like page, so I'm going to say, when I say page, I'm referring to a business like page. If I'm talking about your personal profile, I'll say your profile. Every single time you post on your like page, Google spiders that. So what that means is that it gets categorized in Google search. So if people are searching on Google for whatever it may be, your stuff from your page could actually pop up. That's like free advertising. You know, I have actually signed coaches who have just literally found me because they did not a Facebook search, but a search on Google. Something that I said popped up. They clicked on it. They ended up on my page. When you post on your profile, on your personal profile, it's like you're in a bubble. So you might have great engagement and people talking to you, and that's wonderful. It's in a bubble. You're not leveraging the power of social media. And in today's day and age, social media is such a huge, powerful thing. That's something that you want to leverage every aspect that you possibly can. And again, free advertising going through Google, I don't think anyone is going to complain about that. So that's another reason that's really, really important. The third reason that's really important is Facebook ads. And again, some people are like, ew, I'm not going to advertise. Okay, this is my opinion. And again, you're going to talk to 10 different people who do social media. You're going to get 10 different opinions. So you need to take what works for you. My opinion, we each own our own business. We're crazy if we don't advertise for ourselves. You know, we're blessed because Beachbody spends millions of dollars every year advertising Beachbody. So they make it very easy for us because Beachbody is a household name. So I can talk to really just about anybody, and if they don't know Beachbody, I just need to say P90X, Insanity, Body Beast, and eventually you're going to hit something that they're going to understand, that they're going to recognize. That's because of Beachbody. So amen to that. But they're not marketing me. They're not marketing you. And you are your own person. The best thing that was ever said to me by one of my mentors, this was 3 years ago when I finally said, okay, fine, I'll start doing my page again. She said to me, Rochelle, people don't buy from you because you're a Beachbody coach. They buy from you because of who you are, and they have a relationship with you. Well, again, Beachbody isn't going to work and market to bring my ideal client to my page. That's up to me. And so that's where Facebook come into play. And there are tons and tons of courses out there that you can take. Facebook itself, they do a lot of training on ads. You can go to YouTube and learn stuff. Like, you just have to like set time aside every day and say, okay, this is something I'm absolutely going to learn how to do. You're going to do it. But to bring your ideal client to your page is probably the most important thing that you can do. When I first did my page, this was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that. And then I abandoned it. I had like 600 people on my page. And if you are just starting out, you might think that sounds like a lot. And I guess it kind of does, except it was my friends, it was my family, and most of it was fellow coaches. Yeah, none of those people were going to buy from me. They are not my ideal client. So in all honesty, it was just numbers. And numbers doesn't matter. Nobody cares about numbers if people aren't going to buy from you, right? So that's why it was so important for me to learn how to do Facebook ads. And I will show you my page in just a few minutes. But I can tell you, let me look at it. I just passed the 202,000 people on my page. 3.5 years ago, I had 600 of people who were not my ideal clients. This is leveraging the power of social media. I haven't paid for all of these, but what happens is people will start to talk to me and comment and share and like stuff, and then it just kind of spiders out. It's the gift that keeps on giving, and it's a gift that isn't going to be given to you on your profile page. It's only on your like page where this really makes a big difference. So let's say, okay, you're like, okay, fine, I'm convinced. I'm going to go ahead and do a page. The number one thing that my coaches will come to me and say is, okay, but Rochelle, no one's buying from me. I don't understand. No, I'm doing what you're saying and no one's buying. And my response is always, yeah, I know. Because guess what? They're not buying from me either. And that always takes them back a second, because we live in just this instant gratification kind of world. And so people think just because you now have a page and you've posted something on it that everyone is going to be knocking down your door. That's not true. Okay, so I need you to understand that right now, that's not true. You have to be looking at, again, it's the big picture. It's looking at this like you're in this for life and you are just going to keep doing it. And when you have that perspective, you're going to understand it, because there's something that's called a marketing funnel. I'm going to take a quick drink. There's something that's called a marketing funnel. And people have to go through these, there's 4 different stages. And they have to, and I will say most people, majority of people have to go through all of these. Sometimes you're going to find that one person who's going to, this literally happened to me out of the blue 2 days ago, I kid you not. Someone contacted me in the morning, she found my page. By evening, she had signed up. Yesterday, she's Emerald. Okay, that does not happen all the time. Okay, that is not the norm. What I'm going to tell you actually is the norm for people. So what happens is people come to your page. They somehow find you. So that means that's the know phase. They come to know who you are. And then what they do is they watch you. Because think about it. How many people are on social media? I just want you guys to think about, I'm not even saying names or anything, but I want you to think about fellow coaches. How many coaches can you go to their page or to their profile and it's like they have a perfect life, right? And we all know that nobody has a perfect life. Nobody does. Life is really, really messy. So people know that. They're not naive. And because social media is the way it is, and especially with live video now and everything, everyone's like a voyeur and really looks into people and watches them. So you go into this next phase where people are just starting to like you. And what that means is they're watching you. They want to know, are you who you really say you are? Just because you've posted this wonderful little post, does that mean that I can really figure out that is who you are? And so it takes people sometimes a long time before they're going to actually start to interact with you. Doesn't mean they're not watching you though. And I think that that's the biggest thing that people forget, is that people are absolutely watching, even if they're not interacting with you. At some point, they're going to start to get comfortable with you. And that's when they're going to start to like, comment, and share your post. And it's when people like, comment, and share your post, those are the 3 pieces that make up the engagement on your page. Those are the 3 pieces that are going to cause their friends to see stuff, and then the friends of the friends to see stuff. And that's where you start to really leverage the power of social media. But that doesn't happen right away. Over time, they're going to like, comment, and share on your stuff. And then they're really going to trust you, because they're going to know, okay, you show up when you say you're going to show up. You're not posting one time here, disappearing for 2 weeks, posting here, saying something about a group. You are truly who you say you are. It's not until people get to that trust phase that they're going to move to the next phase, which is actually to purchase from you, or to do a group with you, or to become a coach with you. And again, for some people, that process can happen really, really fast. I have also had some people that, I kid you not, have followed me for a year before they're ready to take that next step. And so you have to understand that. And when you understand that people are watching, even if they're not interacting with you, it makes it much, much easier for you to keep the course, to keep doing what you need to be doing. Okay, so here's the 3 tips that I'm going to give you guys, and then I'm going to share my page and kind of show you guys around. And hopefully, I don't know how long your call normally goes for, but hopefully we're going to have some time for questions if they have questions too. So the very first thing that you have to be doing, and again, there's going to be people that are going to disagree with me, okay? I'm going to tell you that right now. You need to be posting consistently on your page, on your Facebook page. I have my team posting 8 to 10 times every single day. Schedule it. It looks like I'm on social media constantly. I am not. I schedule my posts every morning. There's lots of different, sites and services that you can use. A lot of my coaches use Hootsuite. I use something called Sprout Social, but that is more expensive, and I don't think that coaches really need to start off with that unless you're really wanting analytics and that sort of thing. But you have to be posting 8 to 10 times a day and not stress about it, not stress that, oh my goodness, I'm going to be driving these people crazy, because you're not. A lot of what you post is not going to show up in their feed, or, a couple things might show up in one person's feed, something else will show up in someone else's feed. So you're not going to be driving people crazy. But the important thing is, there's a couple important things. One thing is that if someone does go ahead and click on your name and goes to your page, they can then scroll through and see that, okay, she's actually who she says she is. She's here all the time. She's posting consistently. So you're actually, it's giving you street credibility, okay? And they're going to trust you. They're going to go into that trust phase. So that's why it's so important. Also, a rule of thumb when you're posting 8 to 10 times a day is that, and I see the question that you just posted. I want to mention that in a second. Just don't let me forget. Just don't let me forget. A rule of thumb is that 10 to 15% of what you post a day can be about Beachbody. That's it. That's it. So if you're posting 10 times a day and only one post a day is about Beachbody or Shakeology or challenge group or sneak peek or whatever, you're not shoving Beachbody down anyone's throat. It doesn't look like you're selling, which is what you want. You never ever want to look like you're just selling. If you're only posting 3 times a day and one of those posts is about Beachbody and someone goes to your page and starts to scroll through, it's going to look like you're trying to sell. That's why it's so important that you are posting more often. And like if you go to my page, and let me just say off topic, on topic, off topic, if you go to my page, don't like my page, just so you guys know. Because your friends will see that you liked my page. You could drive business to me because you're liking my page. And it's like when I see my coaches comment on my stuff, I'm like, oh, y'all stop doing that. Don't do that. Go and look and follow, and not follow, but just go and see and that kind of thing, but don't like my page. Unless you want to give me people, which is cool, I'll take them. Just teasing, yeah. So it's really important that you're posting consistently, okay? So that is going to be the number one thing. Number two, and this is where it's really important as well, is you have to be posting the things that your ideal client wants, not what you want. And that can be really, really difficult, and there's a fine line there. And so, what I mean by that is for most of us, our ideal client is someone who's very, very much like us. So my ideal client is a mom, kids who are teenagers, that sort of thing, someone who wants kind of at that life change juncture, wants to leave what they were doing, start to live their own life. So those are my ideal clients, which is great. However, so what would I want to post? Well, I love going to leadership and summit and Super Saturday and all that awesome stuff. And, the stuff that I do with my team, that's great. When it comes to my ideal client, they actually don't care about that stuff. Think about it. They don't. It doesn't mean anything to them. It means something to me, absolutely, but it doesn't mean anything to them. That's why it's so important that you start to post things that your ideal client wants. So this is actually, I'm going to share my screen with you guys because I want to show you how to do something. This is something that I do. I schedule this about 15 minutes every day. I do intel on my ideal client. And so let me screen share. Give me just a second here. Let's pull this over. And can you guys see my screen? Awesome. Okay. So up here in the search bar, what you can do is you can type in pages liked by people who like the name of your page. Not the name of my page. Don't put my page in there. The name of your page. So what this will tell me is this is going to tell me the people that like my page, what other things are they liking, so that I know the kind of things that I can pull from and post about and all of that. So if I go to mine, let me click see more. There we go. Okay, so the people that like my page also like Joyce Meyer, Joel Osteen. That stuff doesn't actually surprise me because I post a lot about my faith on my page. So that would actually be something that I would expect. And you can kind of go through, and again, you got to be really careful. You never want to copy paste. You never want to plagiarize. But what you can do is go to these other pages and gather inspiration for things that you want to say. And it needs to be in your own words and all of that, or, pictures that you want to make needs to be in your own words. But this is where you can grab a lot of different things, and you can learn so much about people. And I was looking at this, I don't know if it's going to be on here still. I was looking through this the other day and was, so surprised. Like Blake Shelton, Tim McGraw. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. If you go to my page and you go to the about section, I'm a rocker chick. I love rock. I'm not a country girl, which is so funny that people, but see, so that's why it's so important that you get in the heads of your ideal client and not necessarily what you want to post about. Because if I started posting something about rock and roll or whatever, it's not going to connect with a lot of these different people. So again, I spend 15 minutes a day just kind of like digging in. I have a notebook here, right here, that I kind of like will take notes in. And remember, this is your business that we're talking about. So you need to really, really treat it like that. And you need to be thinking, okay, I need to do my own marketing because it's my responsibility. So that is a quick tip of something that you can do. Now, I can tell you that if you are just starting out on your page, this may not work. I'm not sure. I've heard inklings that sometimes for some people, they can't find their page, doesn't come up. I think maybe you need to have a certain number of people on your page. However, I don't know what that number is. So just heads up on that. But if that's the case, what I still do is I will still think, okay, what kind of stuff does my ideal client want? Where would I find the mom? What would I find her reading? What would I find her, what kind of sites do I think I'd find her at? And I just go to their pages and kind of check it out and see what's going to work and what's not going to work. So that's another thing I do. So let me go back to my page so I can show you another thing. Now, this is something that's up for debate, but again, I'm going to tell you what's working for me. So the person I was working for with mentoring when I first started really taking my Facebook page seriously was always told me, do not have messages on, turn them off. And so for 3 years, I had messages turned off. I did everything out in the open right on my page. And then it was January of last year, so January of 15, I thought, you know what? I'm going to test this out. And I went ahead and I turned my messages on. And lo and behold, I kid you not, last year, my business absolutely exploded. It absolutely exploded. And I realized it's because, yes, you want to get as much social media oomph that you possibly can, right? You want to be able to talk to, everybody at once and really have it spider out. I get that. But you have to remember the relationship part of our business in particular. When people come to us as Beachbody coaches, they could be in really, really dark places. They're not happy with themselves. They're not feeling well. I mean, this is stuff that people don't want to necessarily put out in the open for everyone to read. And usually the people that they're most concerned about reading it is their friends and family. And I thought, oh my goodness, okay, this makes sense. So I put my messages on, I turned them on, and lo and behold, people started messaging me like crazy because they really needed to reach out. And I have an assistant who does help kind of filter through a lot of the stuff. But I go right back to the one-on-one relationship and talking with people and that sort of thing. And I don't know if you guys play with your messages at all on your page, but it's awesome because you can actually save drafts. I have a bunch of templates that I have, and so I'm not having to rewrite everything. It's made life so much easier. I will never, ever, ever turn messages off again, ever. Worst thing that I could have ever done for my business. Now, I want to just kind of scroll through to show you guys a couple of things to hopefully make you feel better. Because another thing that I hear a lot is, okay, but people aren't seeing my stuff on Facebook. Well, so here's the thing. Again, it's one of those things where you have to be willing to give it time. And the more that you post, the more that you're there, the more that people learn that they can trust you. And that's at that point that they're going to start to interact with you. As they start to interact with you, your stuff is going to be seen more and more. That said, there are absolutely certain things, even of mine, that are not seen nearly like they are seen with like the inspirational stuff, just so you know, heads up, best thing ever that you could do. Since the birth of live video, y'all, that is the way to go. I'm telling you, people, again, we're all voyeurs nowadays. People absolutely love live video. Keep it less than 5 minutes though, and it'll be really good. But if you do that a couple times a week on your page, awesome. But the stuff that is like, okay, look at this. I did this on the 18th. It's got like 1,200 likes. I mean, this is stuff that will eventually be seen. It might not happen right away. However, when I put something like, let me show you. I want to show you a Beachbody one. And again, you can go to my page and scroll through. Okay, perfect. Here's a Shakeology post. Okay, I do a recipe like every other day or something. It only reached 500 people, and I don't have anyone that's liked it. Now, someone who's just starting out might look at that for themselves and be totally deflated. I look at that and I'm like, whatever. It's okay, because I know if someone goes to my page and scrolls through, they're going to see it. That's fine. And then I could see something else, which is about success. Like, it's an inspirational thing. It's been seen by 4,000 people. So it's definitely that kind of stuff that is seen, and it says my internet's unstable, so hopefully you can still hear me okay. The inspirational stuff is absolutely what is seen most. Another tip I want to give you guys, I didn't even have this, I thought of it. Please, 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 let me see, where is it on here? Okay, in your about section, and it is called the short description. Your short description, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Your short description is what ends up right here. Please don't say you're a Beachbody coach. That's a huge tip. Take it out. You'll notice that I have that I am a health coach. I'm a business mentor. But here's the reality. There's what, like 450,000 of us, 460,000. I don't even know how many coaches there are. There's a lot of coaches, okay? And not everybody is taught the right way to conduct business. And we all know that there are some sharks that are out there that really give kind of coaching a yucky name. And so you could have somebody who would totally connect with you as a person, but they may have had a previous encounter with somebody who sharked them. And so the thought of Beachbody to them is really, really yucky. If you have here, either in your little about section, or up here in your name that you're a Beachbody coach, they're going to prejudge you. You may have very well lost a rock star coach because they prejudged you, versus allow them to get to know you. Let them go through that marketing funnel. Let them know you, like you, trust you. Then you can let them know. Now, if you do go to my about section, I don't hide that I'm a coach, but it's just not out there front and center. You kind of have to, where do I have it? Like, I have my Beachbody Awards here, somewhere around here, right here. I say that I'm a Beachbody coach, but do you see where you kind of have to go look for it? It's not front and center, and there's a reason for that. So that is probably the best thing that I can tell you, because otherwise you could go through and do all this great stuff and be posting all the time, and it's inspirational, and you're giving people just wonderful value. But if they've had a bad experience in the past, boom, they're gone. They're gone. I'm trying to think of what else. I'm going to stop sharing so I can actually see you guys. Actually, you know what? It's not going to let me stop sharing. I think because I'm not the... Help, I can stop sharing. Can you make me stop share?
Sorry, I'm looking at this.
My thing has disappeared. I think it's because I'm not running it. Because normally it would be up here. Is it at the bottom of your screen where it says screen share? It should say screen share for you, and you can click on it, and then you'll have to share your own screen and then stop sharing. It'll all go back to normal.
When I click on that, it says you cannot share while the other participant is sharing.
Oh, that's funny.
Sorry, if I make you host, I'm just worried that it will stop the recording.
No, that's okay. Okay, well, that's cool. The only thing is I can only see 3 of you because of the way it is, because I can only see like the 3 of you, so I can't see the questions.
Press your escape button and see if that minimizes things, so then you can stop the share.
Nope.
Okay.
Nada.
All right. Well, I don't know how to stop yours from my standpoint either, unfortunately. Because, when I click share. Okay, well, I can read you any questions.
Okay, that's cool.
Thank you. Thank you so much, though. Looking at this, there's a lot of things that I've been running my page for a couple of years now, for about 2 years. And there's things that I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize that, or I didn't know that. And things that I feel like even just reminding people not to use Beachbody coach on there, I feel the same applies for even Instagram,
Oh, totally. Across every social media platform, y'all.
Yeah.
That only use your name. You're the brand. You're a Beachbody coach, like you're a mom, like you're anything else.
Right. Exactly. Because I think it just, before people, they'll prejudge you and be like, okay, I don't want anything to do with that. So such great information. Guys, what questions do you guys have? I can read your chat here, and I can read it to Rochelle. Does anyone have questions or things? One question I do see here is, do you message from your page, or are you messaging people from your personal page?
Excellent question. Excellent question. Okay, this is new within the past couple of months, and it makes me so happy. So if you're posting on your page, if people comment on your page, let me find something. Okay, if people comment something, and I guess it's good that you can still see my page, you can message them. Look at that. I can hit message. It will come up. It will show them what it is that they commented on. So it's like a little reminder. And the cool thing is it goes to their inbox. It does not go to their, I don't even know what Facebook calls it anymore, because I find random messages that I've missed that are in some other folder or filtered folder, or I don't know what they're doing. It shows up actually in their inbox. So you can message them. So if people comment on my page, if I tell them to comment, I've got something going on, I'm doing a free group, which is right here, And so people are commenting. I'm going through and I am messaging them and I'm putting them into the group after I vet them. And I'm sure that you guys all do the same thing, but I always vet them, make sure they're not already working with a coach, make sure that they're not a coach themselves. But I message there. And then if somebody flat out messages me themselves first through messages, I message them back. I rarely, the only time that I ever, then again, this is me and this is how I run it because I run my business 100% from my page. If you go to my profile, you're not even going to see that I post. I don't even post on my page, on my profile at all. The only time that I accept friend requests are from my PS coaches or from anybody that I'm putting into a group, because you have to be Facebook friends to put them in a group. Other than that, messages happen on my page because you can do templates. They make it so easy, so easy. So I don't spend a lot of time. I could take someone through a conversation back and forth and back and forth and back and forth within a very short period of time, just because I'm clicking my responses and then tweaking them so it fits the conversation.
That's perfect, because that answers one of the other questions. You post everything on your page and your profile. And, I'm just going to throw out my opinion if I can add this to Rochelle's. I think it's important to post where you have an audience too. So someone who's a brand new coach getting started, if you've got a couple hundred friends on Facebook and you have 10 likes on your like page, like post where you have an audience and build that up. So, Rochelle, it makes sense. She has 200,000 people liking her like page, that there's obviously not 200,000 people on your personal page.
Right. Well, and here's actually what I tell my new coaches, because don't forget, I started out using my profile, okay, because that's where our warm and hot market is. When you move to a Facebook like page, that's your cold market. That's you really starting to spread your wings out through like North America. I mean, and it's really amazing because we're on the ground floor. I still see it as the ground floor of Beachbody because there's so many countries that we've not even stepped foot into yet. So your page is something that you can be starting to grow and post on. However, your profile, especially starting out, that's where your warm and your hot market are. The only thing you need to be very, very careful is not posting a lot of things that look ultimately like business posts, because there is always the chance that you're gonna get dinged by Facebook. And I don't have like any idea. I can't figure out the rhyme or reason on how they choose people that go in jail, and I don't know how they even do it. I'm assuming that it's some kind of bot thing that you just somehow get caught in. So just be careful. The messaging thing is a whole nother thing, but I will tell you, because I have had coaches who have had issues with it. I have not had this issue with my page. And again, I'm thinking because it's specified for business. But if you are doing an invite and you have like a little template that you're using, you've got a June challenge group coming up, you want to go back and follow up and invite people again. If you send the same thing over and over and over so many times, they're gonna, warn you that you can't do that. So just kind of be wise, pay attention, okay?
Yeah, and from what I've learned with that, it is a matter of sending a copy and paste message to people, and then also a matter of being an admin for a ton of groups. And so if you've got a mass amount of groups, close them down. So for me, with my challenge groups, I always do that, close it down. I've never been in Facebook jail either, but I'm very careful on closing down old groups, and I always customize my messages. I don't do copy and paste messages, but I also don't just post my link on my personal page, order Beachbody Shakeology here, and here's my website, go to that, because that is obviously very salesy. That I'm working on attraction marketing in your personal page. So, how we teach you guys on our team on personal page, I don't think anyone needs to worry about Facebook jail, as long as you're not being salesy and you're not copying and pasting messages. We do have a question. How soon do you recommend starting a like page?
I have my coaches, um, once they get through their warm, hot market, if that makes sense. So I actually have them, it's not until, okay, we do like different groups. So I start my new coaches off in a 7-day group, brand new coaches, and then they go into a business starter group where their goal is to be emerald, their goal is to make Success Club. I want them doing their warm, hot market because that's what's going to really work for them. Once they start looking at going to diamond, then we start to teach them to open up their page, to start to use it. However, they don't give up their profile still at this point. Not until they've started to work through who their ideal client is, and they've started to work through building their page, learning about ads, starting to bring their ideal client to it, and they get their like page to about 3,000 people. Do we tell them to then, okay, time to make that transition? Totally time. So it can take, it depends on who it is and how fast they grow. I have some coaches who are like at 10,000 already, and so that's all they use is their like page now. So it's different for everybody, but you absolutely have to go through your warm and hot market because there's a lot of business there. And you have to remember that your warm and hot market, they know people as well. So referrals and that sort of thing, that's the kind of stuff that can absolutely happen from your personal profile page. At the same time, however, once, and again, go by what Bridget says with your team, but with us, once they've hit Emerald, once they're doing Success Club and they've got those basics under their wings, then they can start to think, okay, I'll start on my page. However, I always make sure that my coaches understand, because people can get really caught up in busy work and then forget that they're supposed to do their power hour. And ultimately, if we're not doing our power hour, if I stop doing my power hour, my business is going to backslide. And so ultimately, you have to make sure that you're still doing your invites, your follow-ups, all of those things at the same time that you're starting to build your page. The page doesn't take precedence over the rest of your business.
I like that. And that's, if you're one of my personally sponsored coaches, that's what I'm telling you as well, to make sure you are comfortable talking to people that you know and comfortable in like sharing this business and answering questions, because it's a whole nother ballgame talking to someone where you're simultaneously working to build trust and get to know them and build that relationship. And then also plant that seed of, okay, now let's talk about health and fitness as well. And, have you think about doing this business, but they do have to build up that trust in you and want to work with you. So, okay, we're getting a lot of questions here. So I'm going to kind of pick out two. So we have, I'm not sure, we have someone saying they currently have a team like page and a coach like page. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Like you have a like page just for your team. Personally, I'm going to just say a team group is going to be better. Or Rochelle, have you ever heard of someone doing a team like page?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, we have a team group.
Yeah. So say a team group. And then this is a question I get a lot though too, is your like page the same name as your personal page, or how do you get that set up?
That's a good question. It can be, absolutely. So your page, your like page should be your name, okay? Just so you know. And again, notice that I don't have RN after it. I don't have coach after it. I don't have my website after it. None of that. You just want it to be your name. Now, when you put the web address, because I think you can, I don't know how many times you can change your web address because it's been quite a while since I've done it. It does not have to be your name. It can be anything you want, because people stress about that because they've like changed it and can't change it again. Like mine says Rochelle Griffin Fitness. Who cares? That doesn't matter. People don't really even pay attention to that. It's the name right here that you want. Now, as far as my personal page, I have that as Rochelle Stolman Griffin. I have my maiden name in it just because it's easier for people from my past to find me. But you can have it as the exact same thing. That's not a big deal.
I think that's great. And then just tips for, this is an interesting question on where I think you can probably relate, where you said you had the initial likes, a lot of them were coaches, a lot of them were people that weren't in your warm market. Someone saying, I have about 2,000 likes on my page, but they aren't my target market. Would you recommend starting over or just keep going?
Keep going. Keep going, for sure. I kept going. I still had, this is the exact same page. It's just kind of like evolved. And you have to know that your page is always going to evolve. Always. It's never, ever going to be finished because Facebook changes stuff and social media somehow changes. And so this is my exact same page that I had, except now, so I had, roughly 600 when I finally said, okay, I'm going to take this seriously. And if you look, I don't know if you guys can see it because it might be small. My friends from my profile page, I only have 1,000 people that have migrated over. That's it. The rest of it is cold market. So yeah, keep going for sure. You never ever know if one of those 2,000 people eventually is going to connect with something that you're saying and is going to reach out to you. So for sure, keep it.
Well, and I think with that too, Crystal, just keep in mind if someone doesn't like the way, if you're changing your focus on your page or you're giving it a makeover and changing how you're approaching things, if they don't like it, they'll just unfollow. And, you'll just kind of weed through, the people who want to be there and connect with you.
Y'all, I'm sorry. Can I say something real quick about that?
Yeah.
I have people unfollow me all the time. I have people probably on, I would say like every other day that I have to delete what they said and I have to ban them. That people, when it comes, they're sitting behind the computer screen. People aren't afraid to say things that they would never say to your face. And you have to remember, this is your page. This is your little piece of the social media woods. This is yours. And the way that people behave on your page, that's up to you. So I'm always a stickler. If for me, if anyone is like, there's sexual innuendos, yeah, dude, you're out of there. I won't even, gone, delete, ban. And rarely do I have someone who I've banned try, email me, because they can still see your stuff even if you ban them, and they could go to my website and email that way, where they've said, hey, I can't post on your page anymore. That's only happened once in a blue moon. So use your ban little button liberally. It's your page.
Yeah, I use that very liberally, and then I also just block people.
Out there.
They're slightly negative. I'm like, you're gone. I just don't even have space for that.
No, that's exactly right. No, go do that somewhere else. Go make your own page and do that there.
Yeah. Okay, one last question. We'll let you go. I mean, this has just been so helpful and really great. And you guys can continue asking questions in the personal and our team page, and I can chime in, or if there's something specific for Rochelle, I can message her. But just to honor her time, one last question on just getting more people to like your page is one of the ways that I've seen coaches do this, and someone's asking about this, is to tag yourself in the post that you're making, so then they show up on your personal page. Is that do you encourage that? Or if not so, what is the best way that you feel people should increase the likes on their like page to grow it?
Okay. So again, you have to remember that when all is truly said and done, for the most part, our friends and family are not our ideal client, because that relationship is just different. And, I find that my coaches a lot of times are approached by friends, can I borrow your program? You know what I mean? Like they're not being respectful that you have an actual business. So they're not necessarily your ideal client. So for me, number one, again, Facebook ads, you don't have to spend a lot. I started out at $5 a day, bringing people to my page, not boosting posts. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about actually liking, putting out so people would like my page. That's like, then I went to $10 a day. And so I'm always, and still to this day, I'm reinvesting some of my paycheck into it. One thing I have done, I'm going to go to my personal profile to show you guys. And I have right here, and this has been here, this is like 3 years old. I had tell them where to find me on my personal profile. This is where I'm at. I have, and again, still on my personal page, works at. I don't say Beachbody. I don't say wherever, the hospital I used to work at. The only thing I have here is my page so that people can click on it and they're taken over to my page. And then once in a while, and in fact, I hadn't done it long, and you can see I just did this a couple of days ago. I did hey, if you're wondering where I went, this is where I am. And I put the link to my page. That's what I do. I don't do the whole kind of manipulating, like it, unlike it. That's just for me, that's time consuming. And I don't, just because they're on my personal profile doesn't mean they're my ideal client. Because you have to remember, it's not about the numbers. It doesn't matter if you have 10,000 people on your page. If none of them are your ideal client, they're really never, ever going to purchase anything from you. So it's more worth your time to really figure out through branding who is your ideal client, and then learning to target those people to come to your page, putting crazy value on your page so that people will want to keep coming back to it. And that's really, and so again, is this something that's going to happen overnight? It is not. And you have to go into it just knowing that. You have to have the focus. So again, when you start to get frustrated, I want you to think about me. So 3.5 years ago, I had 600 people on my page. Not one of them was my ideal client. I had no engagement, nothing. 3.5 years later, you see where I'm at. And I do, again, 98% of my business comes from my page. So if I did this in 3.5 years, you see what can be done in 3.5 years. The key is that I was consistent every single day. So what that means is, I'm sick right now, and I'm so sorry if you can hear it in my nose. If I'm sick, if I have, we all have crazy stuff that happens. I've had family in the hospital. There's been deaths in the family. Holidays come, it's just the weekend and I don't feel like it. It doesn't matter. I post every single day on my page. That never, ever stops, because I know that there's people who follow my page and I literally have people who will say, I'm waiting for your stuff. I'm looking for your stuff. And so I have that trust with them. And so you have to be consistent. It's like you get up every day and you brush your teeth. You don't think twice about it. Might not feel like it, but you do it because you got to do it. That's how I view posting on my page. There's plenty of days I don't feel like it, but I do it because I know I have to do it. It's part of what I have to do for my business.
So, and I think that just brings a great point on, everyone does different things to kind of grow their business. I think content and quality is key, making sure you're adding value, making sure you're sharing your story, you're vulnerable, all of the things that we teach you guys on how to build on social media apply on a like page. If you're not adding value, someone comes to your page, it's not there, they're not going to like your page. As far as meeting new people, this is one of those things that you're having to be willing to invest, because Facebook is a business and they want your money just like any other business for you to be promoting on there. And so people are not just going to randomly see your like page. Rochelle is sharing that she is investing in advertisement. And so I'm happy to hear that she's saying she doesn't tell a brand new coach to go out and build a like page because you're not creating income. You are going in debt if you're promoting something right from the beginning and you don't know how to talk to those people. So I just want to share my rule of thumb, 10% of your income. So if you're saying, I want to spend this amount of money on advertising, well, then you better earn that. You better earn that income in talking to the people that you know and fine tuning your skills in how you're talking to people. 10%, I think once you're earning thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, you don't need to spend 10%. You can shrink that down. But that's always been what I've done. 10% of my monthly income, I say, how can I use this to market or invest back into my business? So that's going to fluctuate for you guys. But don't feel, Rochelle's doing $10 a day, I need to do $10 a day.
No. And you can turn it off, turn it off on the weekends.
Yeah.
Whatever. And I actually do the 10% thing too.
Yeah. Well, and even, for me getting started, when I first started my like page, I didn't have a significant income to spend a lot of money on things. And so instead of doing $1 a day, I said, well, I can do advertisements for the first week of the month, and so I'm going to have it on, be powerful, use this for the first week, then turn it off for 3 weeks. And then maybe I could do 2 weeks or whatever. So just know you have options there. But realistically, to have, you could see on Rochelle's page, she had like 800 new likes just that week. But that's not just, randomly happening. So anyways, just added my 2 cents on top of all of that. Rochelle, thank you so much for adding value to my team. And I just hope the good karma comes around, and I'm, so honored that you would get on and share what's working for you. And I just think that's an amazing thing about this network. Everyone just works together and shares their tips and advice. And thank you all for getting on this call as well. It has been recorded, so I will share that recording in the team page so you can share that with your coaches and downline as well. Thank you all, and I hope you guys have the most amazing day. Thank you, Rochelle.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you.